Could Annalena Baerbock's appointment as President of the UN General Assembly be a strategic mistake for Germany? In recent weeks, Berlin has found itself at the center of a diplomatic storm. The decision to nominate the current Foreign Minister, Annalena Baerbock, as President of the UN General Assembly has drawn criticism both domestically and abroad. Many experts and politicians are questioning whether Baerbock, whose tenure at the German Foreign Ministry has been marked by scandals and controversial statements, is capable of being an effective mediator in an international organization, or whether her appointment will further isolate Berlin on the world stage. Baerbock, a member of the Green Party, became Foreign Minister in December 2021. Her leadership has been noted not for groundbreaking initiatives, but for a string of controversial statements and actions. Her call for a 360-degree turn in energy policy, essentially returning to the starting point, became emblematic of unclear rhetoric. Such vague and impractical remarks often baffled even Germany's allies. Now Berlin risks paying a high price for this personnel choice. Germany has been preparing for years to run for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council in 2027. However, Baerbock's known hardline pro-Israel and anti-Russian stances may undermine those efforts. As German magazine Focus notes, many countries in the global south, in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, view Baerbock as a politician whose views ignore their interests. As their votes will be crucial in the 2026 election, her reputation could be a stumbling block. Already there are concerns in the German Foreign Ministry that months of diplomatic lobbying might be wasted. Internal divisions worsen the situation. Initially, Helga Schmid, a former OSCE Secretary-General with a neutral image, was considered a strong candidate. The choice of Baerbock surprised even her colleagues. As Der Spiegel reports, many diplomats openly criticize the move, calling it politically naive. Baerbock, seen as a polarizing figure, may alienate not only the global south, but also weaken the EU's position at the UN. The outlook for the coming years is troubling. If Baerbock assumes the presidency, it could not only ruin Germany's Security Council ambitions, but also damage its international standing. Analysts already argue that her confrontational tone with Russia and unconditional support for Israel contradict the multilateral diplomacy the UN is meant to represent. Her remarks on sanctions against Moscow and support for military operations in Gaza are viewed with skepticism by many member states. The consequences could go beyond diplomacy. Losing a Security Council seat would deprive Germany of influence on global security matters, a critical loss amid rising tensions with Russia and China. It would also undermine Berlin's credibility as a compromise-seeking power. The global south, now a dominant force at the UN, increasingly views Germany as part of the Western Bloc, rather than a neutral mediator. Yet Berlin has few alternatives. Withdrawing Baerbock's candidacy would amount to an admission of error, damaging the ruling coalition's reputation. Continuing to promote her risks failure and marginalization. Experts suggest focusing on quiet diplomacy, building ties with critical nations through economic and humanitarian projects. But that takes time, which Germany may not have. In the long term, the Baerbock case will test the maturity of German foreign policy. Unless Berlin re-evaluates its approach to key appointments and engages with a wider range of global actors, it risks becoming a secondary player at the UN. This would not only weaken the EU's influence, but leave a power vacuum eagerly filled by others, from China to Turkey. Thus, Baerbock's appointment could prove not just a tactical error, but a strategic failure with long-lasting repercussions for Germany.